Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Kickback. I am your host, the Dude, and as we do every week, we have some great conversations with some ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their lives. And tonight is no different. We have an extraordinary person doing some extraordinary things in their lives, and we just like to welcome you to the Kickback, another episode where we interview some amazing people. So we'd like to say thank you for being here with us, and we'd like to say thank you for being a part of this journey as always. And thank you for listening. We are at our 1 year mark, and this is a series in our 1 year mark where we're pushing the agenda of men's health, life, and what's going on in this world. So thank you for being a part of our 1 year journey.
The Kickback, a place for brothers. Yeah. The Kickback, a place for brothers. Yeah. The Kickback, a place for brothers. Yeah. The Kickback, a place for brothers. The Kickback, a place for brothers. The Kickback, a place for brothers. The Kickback, a place for.
Listen, if you've been along with this journey with us for this year, this is our 1 year anniversary, and we love to say thank you to everybody. If you have not been over to our website, thekickback.one, we really appreciate it if you go over and check out the website. It is a new place for all information kickback, and we are fresh to that space. So we're still in the background working on trying to get everything together and make it a very popular place for entertainment news and also what's going on in the world and the community. And if you didn't know, the Kickback is a place for vulnerable and transparent conversations with the world. Our focus is community advocacy focused on men, but also the world, because we are fishers of men. And we here at the Kickback, we like to have one conversation to try to help anybody in the world going through whatever it is they're going through, and just try to have a place where you can come and have some wonderful conversation without any type of rhetoric, just have some decent conversation where we can try to solve some of the things that are going on with people. We want everybody to know that this is a safe place, a safe environment, somewhere that you can come and be comfortable having a conversation on any level. I mean, whatever it is you feel like you want to talk about, to an extent, we're not just overly talking about one particular subject or just beating something into someone's head. This is a place of transparency. This is a place of calmness. This is a place we all want to be heard in some form of fashion. And so we here at the Kickback, we want to hear what it is you have to say. And we appreciate everybody for being here and wanting to be heard like we want to be heard.
The Kickback, a place for brothers. Yeah. The Kickback, a place for brothers. Yeah. The Kickback, a place for brothers. Yeah. The Kickback, a place for brothers. The Kickback, a place for brothers. The Kickback, a place for brothers. The Kickback, a place for. The Kickback, a place for brothers. Yeah. The Kickback. A place for brothers. Yeah. The kickback. A place for brothers. The kickback. A place for brothers. The kickback. A place for brothers. The kickback.
All right, everyone. As we sit here and we wait on our guests to come into it, Bubba, what's going on with you today, my brother?
What's good with it, my brother? What's good with my brother?
Not much, man. I am glad that you are here, man. This is our 1 year anniversary, man. And we're doing a series where we're trying to get people to understand that a year of shows where people can understand that you can have conversations, be vulnerable as a man, and understand that you don't have to be angry all the time, and know that this is a place of love where you can come and have conversations. So we're just trying to get the word out. We're waiting on our guest to come in so we can interview him and talk about some good old things. How's your day going?
My day's going pretty good, bro. It's good. How's your day?
My day has been wonderful, man. It has been filled with work. Still working on the computer, trying to get through some of the courses that they have going on the backside of our job. So that's what I've been doing in my downtime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You been, hold on. How y'all doing that already?
Hey, this is what my supervisor told me that I needed to take care of before we are back in session.
All right. What you mean?
Right. So that's the reason why I'm doing it, because that's what I was instructed to do. So that's what I'm doing. How's your day been? What have you been doing today?
I've been, I've been nothing but a little running around, just a little here and there. Trying to get some business accomplished, trying to get some things accomplished. That's pretty much all I've been doing today. So,
Okay.
seeing how I can accomplish some things, But I got a phone call last night from a brother. That when I say last night, it was pretty much 4 days this morning almost. And you think to yourself sometimes, should I even answer the phone?
Okay.
Should I even answer the phone? It's hard when you contemplate. Should I even answer the phone?
Yes and no. It all depends on the caliber of person. Even though it's a brother, sometimes you still have to contemplate the caliber of person in which that brother is, because, sometimes it can be about BS, and sometimes it can be something serious, but 9 times out of 10, it's some BS.
I got but because somebody else that was on the phone call with us, like, I answered the phone because I'm not sure if it's going to be the last time I hear from you.
And that's understandable. And that is more the reason why you should answer the phone, because you don't know if it's the last time you're going to hear from them. So you want to make sure you get to hear from them in whatever caliber it is that they're looking for from you. And it's not always great, but at the end of the day, they're still family. And you have to put up with family, and sometimes you have to feed them with a long handled spoon, and just take it. And
Also have a spoon. You mean an oar? I need an oar. I mean, sure.
well, but you know
I need
what?
an oar.
And I get it. I understand that there are situations where you have to deal with your family in that particular manner. The way we were raised, you were forced to deal with your family in manners that you didn't really want to deal with them. And now that we're adults, you have to have boundaries. And that's what a lot of people don't like and understand, is the fact that boundaries do exist, and your habitual boundary stepper, and I'm saying that to whoever this person is that called you for a daybreak in the morning. More than likely they're a habitual boundary stepper, and probably more than likely needy. They need something, whether whatever capacity it is, they need something from you. Am I correct?
You know, hey, but and then you tell people, evolution. Oh, evolution. What is that? Sometimes you got to evolve. At some point in life, you're gonna have to evolve. Somebody said something last night. They said, it's like they peaked in the '90s and they stuck there.
Okay, and I can understand that. And the thing about that is, in some of the studies that I read, some people are stuck in traumatic situations that deal with certain ages, and we get stuck at those ages. That is a big part of it. A lot of people get stuck in traumatic age syndrome, which means traumatic event happened in their lives when they were a certain age, and they have not grown past that. And everybody else has evolved. Like you said, you have to evolve at some point, and these particular people in your life have not evolved, so they're stuck. So you're right. So they whoever said that they were stuck in the '90s probably that's probably a factual statement. Now, what did the conversation if you can reiterate, what was the conversation about?
And conversation was about a life in general and how well, I did all this and then, oh, y'all just got soft. Y'all did that. Whoa, hold on, y'all weird. What? Cause I've evolved. It makes me weird. Cause I grew up. Cause I didn't stop moving. I kept moving.
Yeah, people like to use terminologies like, and I hate the way that the world has evolved with these terminologies and saying these different things in order taking accountability for who they are and where they are in life. They tend to want to project onto other people because of them evolving or them moving forward, and because they're stuck. So now all of a sudden I'm the bad person because I've moved on past that particular point in my life, because we all have past, we all have backgrounds, we all have done things that we wouldn't think about doing at this particular place in our lives, and some people just don't move past that.
Cause there was a question about, you wouldn't get involved. Okay, let me put the scenario. Let me paint the scenario. Okay, mother daughter, they get into it.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
listening. Go ahead. Mother daughter gets into it.
you're not married. You're not married to either one of them. You're friends. They get into it. No, I'm not jumping in the middle of that. That is a family situation.
Most definitely.
I'm not. No, that is a mother and a child. I'm sure not getting in the middle of that. That right there, yeah. Even when you're married to that person, you have to wait till the situation calms down before you can interject yourself into that situation. If that's not, even if that's your child, but that's their child. Because when you talk about mothers, that's their child always.
Yeah, but I really, coming from a father that co-parents, I don't really like that format, but I
Yeah,
understand because it's been presented to me numerous times.
yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's that type of situation. You see what I'm saying? It's that type of situation where they all hunky dory, this, that, and the other. Then all of a sudden, because you want to cut them off, now they mad. Now y'all into it. Are you wouldn't get no, because I put my 2 cents in. I got stomped on, trampled on, and everything else. So, no, I'm not gonna do that again.
All
I
righty,
that
Miss.
conversation you can never call first without
Right.
telling all people.
All righty, Mr. Vincent. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I like to have commentary with my co-host before my guests come on because this is a lifestyle show, and that's my co-host Bubba J. That's my brother, my lifelong friend. This is a platform for vulnerable and transparent conversation. So we like to have conversations about life, and he's simply explaining a situation about life. But we're also here for you, Mr. Vincent, Mr. Dixie. I am the dude, the
Come
host of
on.
the Kickback. We are a platform for vulnerable and transparent conversations. My tagline is I like to have conversations with ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their lives. And what we do here is we just want to get to the meat and the brass tacks of who you are, where you from, what you do, and how you got there. So we're just going to have some conversation. It's a laid back venture. We don't we don't do anything scripted. It's all off the top of my head because this is something that God gave to me. Yeah, I've got a few questions because I've done my research and there's a few things I want to ask you about you. But if I could get you to introduce yourself to my audience, tell them who you are, what you do, and how you got there.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right. Thank you. Well, my name is Hose. No, I'm just joking. So I was I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, actually, and we moved to Nashville when I was 9 years old. My mom, and back then, she worked for it was called South Central Bell, but now it was called AT&T. They bought the company, and we moved here when I was 9. So I grew up in Nashville, a Nashville native. Went to junior high school here. And, funny stories. I actually met my wife when we were 12 years old, and back then we went to Ewing Park. But my wife and I, we never dated, and we just were friends. And then we actually ended up going to college together, and then we reconnected there. But we were always friends, so it's not like we reconnected. We just looked at each other in a different light, I guess. So I went to Hunters Lane, and I graduated from Tennessee State University. So I have an accounting degree, and I also have an MBA from there that I got many, many years ago. And yeah, so I worked for HCA, worked in healthcare for a while. And then eventually I kind of got into doing my own thing. And so I've been had my own business since 2009, and I have a bail bonding business. I have a dump truck, and my brother and I, we have a staffing company that we do, and we have several government contracts. We deal mainly with the VA or municipalities. Then I was elected in 2018 as a state representative for District 54. So I'm going into my 7th year. No, I'm going to my 8th year. So my 4th term, going to my 8th year. And I know we did not have this plan, and this was totally, not planned, like you said, not planned or scripted. But today I launched my campaign for Congressional District 7, which is the seat that was vacated by Mark Green. Well, will be vacated by Mark Green on July the 20th. And so we've been busy with that all day today. But I'm happy to be here and talk with you.
Man, I appreciate that. See, look, you had already hit the point because listen, I'm gonna tell you how God is. I'm gonna tell you how God is. I was so excited to get this interview, and me and my customer guest relations person, David Van Cleves, had hit me up and said that you had signed on to do the interview. And I was in the house doing some things today, and I looked up at the TV, and whose face do I see on the TV? And I said, honey, this is the gentleman that I am about to interview tonight. He just signed on as one of the Democratic candidates to take Mark Green's spot. And I was like, man, look at God. Look at God. Look at God.
I've had an overwhelming positive response today. We reached our goal for fundraising for today, and we came out the gate strong. And I think that we're gonna build some momentum, and this is a winnable race. Even though they have gerrymandered this district, we can win this race, but it's gonna take all of us to do it. It's really take our community, when I say our community, the Black community, to get out and vote, because this is truly an opportunity that Black people can choose who sits in that seat. And I'm not just saying that to say that, that is a fact.
No, that is truly an opportunity. And if the people of Nashville don't understand the ramifications of where this could lead us to, then they're foolish. They're foolish to not understand how this can affect how things are done here in Nashville, Tennessee. Just like you, I'm also a native, but I went to Maplewood High School. But it sounds like we grew up in some of the same neighborhoods. We probably know some of the same people. I don't know what year you came out of high school because you're a few years older than me, so I could imagine you came out before me. No, I'm saying we were both born in the 70s, just not in the you were born a few years before me in the 70s. Well, we were both born in the 70s. But man, I appreciate you being here. This platform, man, we are elevating. This is our 1 year, man. We have been doing this consecutively every Tuesday for a year straight, trying to advocate for men's well-being and for men to understand that we have a place where we can come and have true, transparent, and vulnerable conversations. Because if you look at the world, social media and all those things, women have groups everywhere. Everywhere you look, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever, there's always a collective of women. I think my wife is on this new movement for the menopause, pre and post menopause or whatever it is. It's the I don't care menopause movement that these women have. But how many true movements do we have as fathers, husband, and men, a place that we could come to and just sit down at the table and have conversations with each other and talk about politics and life and rearing children and marriage and all those things? We don't have those.
Mhm. Yeah, sometimes I'm glad you said that, man. It's funny. One of the guys before I got jumped on this show, go back to answer your question. I graduated from Hunters Lane in 1991. I was talking to one of my good friends before. He was laughing at me because I was like, "Man, how you doing today?" He's like, "I'm good." I said, "Man, how's your health?" He started laughing. I said, "How's your mental health?" He's laughing. He's like, "Man, why are you asking me all these questions?" I'm like, "Man, sometimes nobody ever asks us how we're doing." And I was like, and when I say okay, I said, "No, tell me the long story. I have time today. I can listen." And
Right.
so we have to be each other's council groups. I mean, that's just what we are for each other. So I have a group. It's about 6 or 7 of us, and I just lost one of my best friends. We were been friends since we were 14 years old, and he passed away last Saturday. So his funeral's coming up this Friday, and we have this group, and when we talk to each other, we've kind of been we've been our group counseling sessions before each other, right? We know that everybody's not going through the same thing. A lot of times when you don't talk about it, you suffer in silence by yourself. When you realize all of us are married, we have kids, and we go through those ups and downs, and you just realize, man, we just talk about anything because who knows at what moment one of us have experienced what you're going through or we're going to experience it.
Man, exactly. That's what the kickback is about. Everything you just described is what I'm trying to build here, is exactly what you just said, because we need a tribe. We all need a tribe. And I'm glad that you have a tribe of men that you can sit down and talk to. And my kudos to you for talking to your brother in that manner and saying, "Hey man, what's wrong with you? Don't tell me the short answer. Give me the long version so I can sit down and understand so we can work through these things together." Because man, everything you just said is true. Men suffer in silence. We suffer so much in silence. Men have the highest rate of suicide. Men have the highest rates of death from health issues, from not taking care of themselves and not understanding where they need to take care of themselves and how they need to take care of themselves. It's like last month, I just had to go to the doctor so they can look inside me. You know what I'm saying? Because I am 45. So at 45, they have to look inside you and make sure there's.
You're being nice, but I know
Yes.
what you're.
Yes, and then that's the way I'm going to describe it. They look inside you to make sure there's no objects there to stop anything from happening. So yes, I at 45, I had to go endure that and make sure that I'm okay, because I have to make sure I'm good for my wife. I have to make sure I'm good for my children. I have to make sure I'm good for my community. I have to make sure I'm good for my brethren. You understand what I'm saying?
I feel you with both hands.
Right.
I understand. One of my good friends, he had prostate cancer when he was 40, right? And with prostate cancer, the younger you are, the more deadly it is. Like if you're at 75, 80, and you get prostate cancer, it's not as dangerous. But that was kind of a wake up call. It's like, hey, we got to stop playing around. You gotta take your health. You go to the doctor. Something if you don't feel right, go to the doctor. That's what we have insurance for. Don't suffer. Don't be like, well, my shoulders bother me. I can muscle through it. I'll be okay. Sometimes that's a sign of something larger that's happening. So we definitely have to take that. So I applaud you for going to the doctor and taking care of yourself.
Man, listen, it is, to me, it's a blessing to be at a place in life where I can afford to be able and go do the things that I've done to take care of myself. God has blessed me so abundant, man, that it is crazy. To even be here with you to have this conversation is a blessing, because 5 years ago, I never imagined being able to have a conversation with a gentleman of your stature, even though you're an ordinary man and you put on your pants every day, one leg at a time like me, but you've managed to accomplish something that a large population of African American men will never. You know what I mean?
Mm. Man, it's funny that you say that because my friend group, my group of guys, they're what I call the great equalizer. Because it doesn't matter how big you get, how low you get, they're gonna bring you up or they're gonna bring you down. But they're gonna keep you where you are. So people's like, man, you're so down to earth, you're so cool, you're just a regular person. I was like, yeah, because my wife, my kids, and my friends keep me that way. They keep me grounded. They know that we're just regular people. We're not doing anything extraordinary. I was telling somebody the other day, my career path wasn't to be a state representative. This just kind of happened, and the door opened for me, and I guess God positioned me in this position where I was ready to take advantage of this opportunity if it came. The same thing with the Congress. I didn't start out seeking to be a congressional candidate, but I'm grateful because sometimes I was talking to my wife this morning, and I was like, it's crazy to me that I'm actually running for Congress and I'm a real candidate. I would have never thought that in my life. A young boy from Chattanooga who grew up in the projects. I know everybody say that stuff, but a single, family home. My mom never made over $28,000 a year, and she retired in 1999. So it's not like she made a lot. This was so far back. $28,000 a year is not a lot of money, but we made it. I never lacked love. I didn't even know that I didn't have certain things because we always had love. It was always there. I never felt neglected. I may not have had all my wants, but I had all my needs.
And that is the difference between now and then, because I grew up in the same manner you grew up. But I only grew up here in Nashville. Born and raised Nashville, Meharry Hubbard Hospital is where I was born. The first address I can ever remember is 533 South 7th Street. If you know where that is, that's James Casey Projects. The first school I ever went to was Warner Elementary. My mother was the strongest man I ever knew in my life because my father wasn't there. And it's same as you. We may not be on the same career path, but my career, I sat back, me and my brother, and we talk about how we are where we're at now versus where we were 10 years ago, and how God has blessed us. And we would have never thought that we'd be in the place that we are right now 10 years ago. I couldn't see this 10 years ago, just like you couldn't see yourself running for this particular position 10 years ago.
Hmm.
You know, so where we come from is a part of our story, but it's not who we are. And so
Yeah.
many of us men make where we come from who we are, when that should just be a place that you pass through in order to evolve into the man you are today?
I know this is gonna sound crazy, but like, so my dad was always around, but not around. So like, my dad passed away when I was 22. He was an alcoholic. He was probably when he wasn't drinking, smartest man you'd ever meet. But he probably didn't talk. As soon as he started drinking, all hell broke loose. But when I started having kids and got married, my mantra was, if I just did the opposite of what I thought he would do, I would be okay. And so I didn't have the greatest, I didn't have a good role model, period. But I knew what I wanted was something different for my kids and my family. And I know, does that make sense?
Oh, yes, because listen,
And then,
the greatest thing my father ever done for me was not be there.
mhm.
And it's the honest God's truth. That's what I tell everybody. The greatest thing my father ever done for me was not being in my life. You know why? Because all of my children, I have 5 children, all my children know their father, knows his phone number, knows where he lives, knows where he works, knows how to get in touch with him, knows everything. I didn't have any of that growing up as a kid. So the best thing my father did for me was not be in my life. I know that sounds so horrible or harsh or whatever you want to call it, but that's my reality and that's my life. But at the same hand, my children, all 5 of them, know that they can depend on their father. All 5 of my children know that I'm going to be there no matter what. If I got to call if one of my kids call me and say, Dad, I need you. If I'm at work and it's something imperative and important, hey, I'm gonna call my job, call my supervisor. Hey, look, I gotta go take care of my kid.
Family first, always. Like, and the people that work for me, I was like, listen, if you ever have anything to do with your family, you don't even have to ask. You go do it. We'll figure it out. Because family's first. It's just how I was raised. You always take care of your family. And when you think about it, you say you have 5 kids. I have 2 girls. They're 18 and 20. But they're only with you for 18 years of their life. That's it. Then they're gone out into the world. And so I want to make sure I spend all the time that I can with them and teaching them, making memories with them, because after those 18 years, they go off to college, go off, get a job, whatever they do, but they begin their adult life. And so it was important for me to make sure we have that foundation.
That is the lie that society tells you. Them kids come back. Them kids come back.
And listen, I told my oldest when I said, listen, you live somewhere else for 9 months out of the year. I said, you a visitor. You don't have a key to this house no more. You a visitor. And that kind of came back on me because I was like, I need you to clean up on some stuff. And she said, I thought I was a visitor.
Because here's the
You
thing.
got, you got me.
Yeah, she got you. Because between me and my wife, I'm married to now, we are a blended family. Okay. I was married before her, and I have 2 children by the woman that I was married to before her. And my wife brought me 2 children when I married her. So we are a blended family. So my oldest daughter just decided that she wanted to make a career change and do a couple other things. So she moved back into the house with us. My second child, she's married, moved on, lives in a whole nother county. She's living good, got a husband, good job. Her husband has a good job. I'm about to be a grandpa for the first time at the end of this month. I'm about to be pawpaw, man. I'm so excited about that. Let's see, it's 29. Well, she just turned 30 on the 10th. Then there's 26 and there's 21. My boy, he still lives here, but he just got into a program to become an electrician. And we sat down and talked about his plan, and he wants to be out by the time he turns 22, which will be next May. And so, hey, thank God for that. And then I have a 14-year-old and a 9-year-old, and it is, man, you think that they're going to go away and you're not going to see them anymore. Listen, they're still there. You're still daddy. You're still in their lives. Listen, my 26-year-old that's pregnant, has a husband, has a great career. At the end of her pay period, she still sends a request for money for gas and lunch. And she's
You're not giving me
26.
any hope, brother. You're not giving me any hope.
I'm not trying to give you any hope. I'm trying to give you true transparency as a father. But that's what
Yeah.
we're here for at the Kickback, man, is to help brothers understand that what you're going through or maybe going through, somebody else has been through it. Understand what I'm saying? Because people live in the right now. A lot of people are out here living in the right now. And a lot of people think that what's going on in their lives right now is going to be there tomorrow, is going to be there next week, is going to be there next month, and there's going to be there next year, but not understanding that 10 years ago, when you were running your businesses, you didn't know that you were going to be putting yourself up for the spot that you're putting yourself up for now, did you?
No, no, not at all.
Exactly.
But yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't interrupt.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. I'm just saying that's where you were, let's say 20 years ago. You didn't think that you'd be at the spot you are right now. You were looking at uh, you were looking at that baby and like, what am I going to do to make her future better?
Mm-hmm.
Because your wife was pregnant. So now I got to make a better future for me, her, and this baby that's coming. Now we're here. Life has changed. A week ago, you were contemplating this move of putting yourself in the race for this, but you prayed on it and did whatever you did, and then you had made the announcement today, right?
Right. We are some of our experiences. Things happen sometimes, and I think it really, I've seen experienced it in my life. Sometimes you feel like that door is closed or an opportunity you didn't get that you wanted, but you turn around, you look back and you say, man, if I had have taken that opportunity or if I had have went down that route, I wouldn't be right here where I am today. So I'm grateful that I'm in this position. I'm grateful that I can help my community. I'm grateful that I get a chance to speak out, to say the things that people want to say but can't say because they don't have the opportunity to say, right? In the state house, in our General Assembly, there's 99 state representatives and there's 32, 33 senators. There's only 132 people in the state of Tennessee out of 7 million people get to do what I do. I take my job seriously. And I get to be the person that when you yelling at the TV saying, oh, man, he answered a question. I can't believe he lied. Well, I get to actually say that in real time. And I don't take my job duties lightly. And but I appreciate it. I've enjoyed it. I've learned a lot, because once you get a peek behind that curtain, you're like, oh, it's not what I thought it was.
Right. And like you said, out of all the people here, you have the opportunity of saying these things that everybody else wants to say live and in person. And that's so cool because a lot of us, like you said, are standing on the other side of the screen like, man, answer the question. He just said that 3 times and you keep diverting from the question, man. Answer the question.
Yeah, man, my wife has been like whenever I'm doing stuff, she's like, "Don't be like those people on TV. When they ask you a question, you answer it, and you don't, then you have a solution." I'm like, "Look at you become a political campaign consultant." Man,
Right.
I say it under my breath now. I don't say it out loud, but
Of course,
you
you don't
think
want to get in
you think
trouble. We
you're
we
like.
ain't trying to get in trouble.
I'm like, let's just say on Fridays, and he come around, I be quiet, but
Now
he still be saying,
let's talk about Bill 0883. Let's talk about that bill you sponsored about felons and the opportunity to seal their records. Who who brought that bill to the table and what made you sponsor it?
oh, I was just reading. I was doing some reading. There was actually a young brother out of Pennsylvania. He had a bill. It was called the Clean Slate Act. That's what we called it. He had it up there in Pennsylvania, but he has only wiped off misdemeanors. So I was like, I did a little bit more research, and I just found out that like after 5 years, most people the recidivism rate drops tremendously. After 3 years, it's almost non-existent. I mean, after 3 years, it drops down. After 5 years, it's almost non-existent. And I was like, why don't people get a second chance to do that? If you completed your sentence, gone through probation or whatever, and then you stayed out of trouble another 3 or 5 years, why wouldn't you get the opportunity to have your voting rights restored and your full citizenship rights restored? That just makes sense, right? But it seems like right now the Department of Corrections is not, it doesn't, it's supposed to correct the behavior that got you there, but really it's just the Department of Punishment because they just punish you and then there's nothing to help correct that behavior or put you in a better position. And I just thought it was an opportunity to help people. For instance, this is why our laws make no sense. So if you get convicted of a misdemeanor, even if in most misdemeanors you don't have to do jail time, but if you did, you've heard of 1129, right?
Yes, sir.
1129 means you would have to serve 11 months and 29 days. That would be the max sentence that you would have. Max sentence is 11 months and 29. But in order to get that expunged from your record, you got to wait another 7 years. So you did an 8 year sentence over something where would only take you less than a year to complete your sentence if you had to actually go to jail. How is that fair? Why won't you, if you had a misdemeanor, you stay out for another year, and why won't you be able to get that expunged from your record or sealed? And when I put the seal and you say seal in your records, what it does is it doesn't wipe your history away. It's just as long as you don't get any more trouble, you're fine. But if you do get in more trouble, then they can use your past history against you to enhance your sentence. That's an incentive for people to stay out of trouble, to reintegrate into society and be a good member of society. So I think it's a win-win, but Republicans, they just don't have an appetite for that to try to help people. They want to hurt people, especially in this day and age. And it's just gotten worse since I've been there. And I feel
Yeah,
like it's for a change. And I think that me running for Congress, and just not to say, I'm not trying to plug myself, but I think that winning this seat, when I win this seat, it will change the direction of politics in the state of Tennessee.
man, and that's what we need. We need somebody to change the trajectory of the way that things are going. I understand the regime that we have right now. It is what it is. And like any adversity, you have to push through it in order to get to the other side, to get your blessing and to get the lesson. The United States right now is pushing through and they're reaping what they have asked for. And some people understand that it's everything is not as it appears. Sometimes the wool can be thrown over your eyes and there could be a false narrative being had and a lot of things being said and tossed around that people can't actually produce. And there's a lot of that going on right now. And we just have to make it through to the other side because there's always a blessing on the other side of adversities. And there's always a lesson on the other side of adversities. So we've just got to push through the things that are going on right now to get the blessing and the lesson. But on that, let's talk about this other bill we got. House Bill 8081, drug treatment instead of incarceration.
hmm Well, on those things, what- a lot of times people commit some crimes not because they're in the right mind. Sometimes they're on drugs, right? And sometimes if you just dig down deeper into what's going on, people kind of see, all right, they have some type of mental issue or a drug issue. They don't need to be jailed. You're not attacking the root cause. We're just jailing people. So this would help people like, listen, let's get you some help because the goal is to make sure that you get somebody back on the path so they can be a productive citizen, so they can get back to their life, to their families, hopefully their kids or their whatever it is that they need to do. So I felt like this was a good opportunity in order to try to help people get back on the right path instead of just labeling them criminals. But let's just drill down to the root cause. The reason why that bill was kind of important to me is like I was saying, my dad died when I was 22, and when you're young, you don't really understand. But like I said, my dad was alcoholic, and now as I got older, I realized he was an alcoholic for a reason. There was some trauma that he had that he never dealt with. Nobody ever knew to talk about it, and I wish that as an older man that I've become, that I would have I had the opportunity to talk to him and say, "Man, what went wrong? What happened? What drove you to drink so much? What is it?" And so that's why that bill was kind of personal.
You know what, man? That is amazing because You're saying a lot of things, and I like I said, it's God, it's not us. This is not scripted by any means. I don't want anybody to think this is scripted. This is just a laid back conversation between two men. What you just said, I think a lot of us at our older age wish we could have had those particular conversations with our parents. My dad died in 2012, and he died of prostate cancer, but along with the prostate cancer he was a heavy alcoholic. He was a
Mm.
very heavy alcoholic, so he didn't take care of his health and he didn't take care of his things. So, like you said, wishing that you could have these conversations with these people to understand what drove you to the point to where you had to numb yourself up so much that you lost consciousness and you wanted to be free of the realities of the world and engulfed yourself in whatever your particular drug of choice is, whether it's alcohol or illegal substance of any kind. Just having those conversations with those people, you could better understand. And right before you came in, like I said, I was talking to my co-host, and we were talking about the exact same thing. He was saying that a brother of his had called him early this morning before the sun came up, and it was we call each other brothers. Like, you got a group of brothers you bounce things off of. So this a brother called him early this morning, and he was saying that that brother was stuck in the 90s. And what I was telling him is, we sometimes get stuck in these in what's called traumatic age syndrome, where there is a particular traumatic instant that happened in our lives at whatever age we were, and we get stuck there and don't know how to evolve and get past whatever that particular trauma is, and we just kind of stuck in limbo. Yeah, it may have happened when you was 21 and now you're 51, but you never seeked help, or no one ever reached out to you and had that conversation or cared enough to say, "Hey, brother, what's going on?" So now you're 51, still living in the traumatic situation that happened to you when you were 21.
My, it's funny. You said it. I look at it we were saying the same thing, but just using different words. I was just saying, like, my friend that passed away, he peaked. I say he peaked. They peaked right there, and then they stopped because that was his thing. About 20, when he was about 22 years old, is when he peaked. He never really grew mentally from that age, right? He got stuck right there. And you put it in, you articulate that better than I could. You did a very good job.
Thank you, man. And like I said, this is when I get on the microphone, it's God, man. And God he puts these words in my mouth and I just spit them out to the best of my ability to try to make people understand that I'm advocating for the well-being of people. I am a fatherless father. I'm a father of five. I'm a brother. I'm a husband. I'm a cousin. I'm all those things. But I still have moments where things have happened to me in my life. And in some instances, I still get stuck. We all do. We all have had things that have happened in our lives and get stuck. And this platform has helped me so much. My wife says, your podcast is your therapy because it's my therapy. Just having a conversation with you, you're going to give me a gem that I never knew I needed by the end of this conversation. Just talking to you. Yeah, we're going to talk about your political life, your work life, and all those things. I'm going to mix that in there, but I really just want to talk to Mr. Dixie and figure out who he is on a human level, because I know a lot of people are wanting to talk politics all the time, or a lot of people are wanting to talk bail bonding business or whatever it is. Okay, all that's fine and cool. But I want to get to know you on a human level and who you are as a man. You're a father of two daughters. You're a good husband to your wife. You guys have known each other since junior high school. You understand me?
Hmm.
We need more of this. This is why this platform is here. We are a hidden gem. We are a hidden gem. This is 52 weeks that I've consecutively sat behind this microphone and had conversations with people about life, love, rearing children, and all these things, and just getting to know people and trying to figure out how I can help another brother or sister be better than they were an hour ago before they met me on this microphone. Because we all need a soundboard sometimes. We all need a place where we can just have conversations. Sounds like you're still in your office,
Well, I'm at the home office now. So,
but
well,
you're still in
that's
an
late.
office and you're still working. I get it. I understand, but you're still a man.
Oh yeah,
You're
you
still
gotta
a
take care.
father, right?
Yeah. But like I said, I think that the thing that was the biggest misconception that we have, especially as men, well, black men, we just don't open up our mouths and say, I'm hurting or I need a timeout. I just need some time to myself. Let me recoup. Let me rest. Let me get myself together. And then, because if I fall, a lot of pieces fall too, right? So I
Right.
gotta hold together. I can't help you. And then, like the Bible, you can't help anybody till you help yourself. If you can be a whole person to yourself, you can't help anybody else because people will take from you. They'll take, 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 take. And at some point, you just have to be like, let me remove myself, let me recharge. Then I can go back, and then you can take from me because God built me for this. So
Right.
I'm gonna
But
do what I have.
that's what we are as men. And that's what I explained to somebody before. You gotta take on the world and what you have going on. And if you got a wife, then you got to protect her. If you got kids, you got to protect them. If something goes wrong with the house, you got to take care of the house. If something goes wrong with the car, you got to take care of the car. At work, you've got to take care of people at work. So we've got to carry all of these different things and we've got to wear all these different hats. And the way you described it and summed it up is so, so great. Hey man, I need a timeout.
Hmm. Yeah.
I need a timeout, whether it's just getting in my car and driving down the interstate, whether it's sitting on the back patio, just looking at the stars or looking at the grill as you cooking some food, or if it's just sitting, going somewhere and having lunch by yourself and just people watching. But you're not interacting with anyone. You're just sitting there people watching. But hey, I need a timeout. I need a moment to breathe.
My wife always that she was like, I was like, well, I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to lunch. I'm going to go do this. She's like, you going to lunch by yourself? No, she said, who you going with? I'm like, by myself. Like, why you going by yourself? I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay with sitting quiet and just decompressing. You know what? One of my favorite things to do is to cut grass
That's wonderful.
for two things. One is when you cutting grass, you can't answer your phone because one is you can't hear it or feel it. But now they got all this Bluetooth headsets and stuff, so that messes it up. But I still pretend like I can't hear it anyway. But it also, once you finish cutting grass, you have a sense of accomplishment. Like, look what I just did. But for those few minutes, that hour or whatever it is that I'm cutting grass, it's just peaceful. You can just be in your thoughts. If you listen to music, or sometimes I don't listen to music, I just let my thoughts, just go through. And so that's why I like cutting grass.
Man, that's wonderful that's your escape.
Hmm.
You are doing a job, but you're also taking care of yourself. So that is a double entendre because this grass has got to be cut. I need a timeout. So we run them consecutively and you accomplish two things at one time. So yeah, setting back and saying, man, look at that grass. I just really cut that grass.
And now,
On the other
like,
hand, man, I couldn't hear my wife saying nothing. The office ain't calling. The kids ain't asking me for nothing. My homies, they cool wherever they at. I'm just in my moment. And like I mentioned grilling because that's my thing. I sit out on my back patio. I fire up my grill. My wife don't want to come out there. The kids don't want to. It's too smoky out there. I don't want to come out there. You smell like smoke. But
well, I'm gonna have to invite myself over to see if you can grill. I don't know. You keep talking about this grilling. What I mean, we got to see what you can do out there.
hey, look here, man. I ain't gonna put my address out on this sign here, but you're more than welcome. I'll text you the next time I'm grilling some food. You come over and get you a good meal and hang out and just
You
chill
have
out
my
with me.
number.
I got
You
your
have
number.
so we connected now.
Right, we're connected. And man, listen, I appreciate just ordinary people, man. Where you are, congratulations on putting your name in the race for that seat, man. Congratulations. Congratulations on being able to be in that position because like you said, it's 7 billion of us here in Tennessee?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Roughly.
And roughly 7 billion people and
Million.
only
Million.
7 million people. And you have the opportunity to run for the position to be in Congress. That is, amazing. And I thank you for having the gumption to be a person who stands up and runs for it because I don't know how many are in the Black Caucus in Tennessee and anybody could have ran, but you said, I'm going to throw my hat in the race and I'm going to try for it. And like you said, you have a good race for you. If the people of Nashville just stands up and stand behind you and they want to change, they'll stand up behind you and they'll do what it takes.
Yeah. And I think that people, they always say, you hear politicians or elected officials say, it takes money, it takes money, it takes money. And then one of the biggest knocks on black people is in politics. They say, oh, you can't raise money. So when I'm the first black chairman. I was the first black chairman of a House Democratic caucus in the state of Tennessee. They didn't matter Republican or Democrat. I was the first to ever, which is crazy. I mean, over 200 years of politics, I was the first black person to come along and do that. But they was like, oh, well, you won't be able to raise money. At that time, when I was the chairman, I raised more money than that caucus had ever had. And I showed other black people how to raise money. But in order for me to win this next race, it's going to take money too, because and people say, well, what do you need money for? We need money to buy the digital ads. We need money to buy the signs. Then you got to pay your staff because you can't do this by yourself. It's just so much. It's so vast. There's no way that you can do this by yourself. So you have to get people to help you, and you have to pay people. I just believe in making sure you don't just pay somebody the bare minimum. You pay them for their worth, and you're going to get what you pay for. I'm a strong believer in that. And so it takes a lot of money, but I would hope that, people get behind me, donate to my campaign. And if you can't, it doesn't matter if it's $1, $5, or how about this? Just donate your time and just help
Man,
me.
that's the big thing. Donate your time because people don't understand. We can't do everything. We need some help.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs some help. We need some help. And if you ain't got $1, then donate your time. But if you got $1, give $1. In the chat, someone says, congratulations. It's time for us to make real change. That came from Bubba. And then it says, meeting voters in person is always critical to your success.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's,
My favorite part, campaigning, is actually knocking on doors. A lot of people don't like that part, but I like knocking on doors because you actually get to talk to people who can vote for you. We have to go to a lot of we have to go to a lot of events, but a lot of those people can't vote for you, but they can donate for you or they can talk you up or talk you down. But I love talking directly to voters.
man, that's amazing. Listen, it is amazing to hear who you are and what you're doing. Someone also said, what's your camp? They put it in. Oh, there you go. You put it in there. I was just going to say, now
Yeah,
you're
man,
looking at the comments. So
I'm trying to see how I can be a co-host. You see, I'm trying to work this stuff like you now.
right. I got you, man. Listen, we do these interviews every Tuesday. I've done them for 52 weeks straight. I interview.
Congratulations.
Man, this is 1 year. I'm so thankful. We're trying to evolve and get better. I was saying we're a small platform, but we are an evolving platform. We're trying to get more people involved in the conversation with men's well-being and men's health. And we're trying to get more people involved in knowing that they have a safe space to come and have conversations and for men to understand that they don't have to suffer in silence. So with that being said, we do these conversations every Tuesdays. Every Friday, we host a open conversation for 2 hours. It's a live show. People come in the chat. I have a panel of men that come on and talk every Friday. And I invite every guest that comes on my show. If you have an open Friday, just come in and talk. You can come talk politics. You can come talk sports. You can come talk kids. You can come talk whatever you want to. But it's Friday, 7:30 p.m. We have a live show with just men come in and talk about whatever it is. And you're welcome to come to any one of my Friday night shows. If you want to be a co-host, I will make you an administrator. That way you have a little administrative power.
And you said it's 7:30 p.m.?
7:30 p.m. every Friday.
Okay. And I appreciate the invitation. I don't even be here. I enjoyed the conversation. I just enjoy you. I don't know what was your motivation for doing this, but I'm glad you did it because somebody had to do it, take that first step. And I think that you're gonna be great. Just people just gonna learn how to open up and talk.
Man, listen, it was God and the need to have a conversation, man. It's just, I have a core group of friends and we talk about anything, but the fact of the matter is, everybody needs a group. Everybody, like I said before, everybody needs a tribe. Everybody needs a group. Everybody needs someone to bounce ideas off. Me and my brother, we talk about everything, anything in the world. Sometimes I don't like what he says. Sometimes he don't like what I say. So there have been times where we've been in the open forum on Fridays, and there's a couple of military guys who are on the panel, and they some of them have PTSD, some of them have just different stuff, and they enjoy being able to have this conversation and have the rhetoric and talk. And just it fills my heart with joy to hear them say that they have enjoyed being there and they like the fact of the conversation and they love the fact of they can come to a place and have these conversations. Because here's what God told me, and I'm going to give you the description real quick. God told me that if you put a man in a room with 100 people, not in your case, but just think about it. Let's hear what I'm saying. If you put a man in a room with 100 people, is he going to be vulnerable and transparent with 200 pairs of eyes on him? But if you put a man in his living room, in the front seat of his car, at the desk at his house, and you put a device in front of him where he can have a true, transparent, and vulnerable conversation without anybody looking at him, will he speak?
Hmm. The answer is yes.
Of course, the answer is yes, because you don't have all the eyes looking at you, so you don't feel judged. So that's why this is a audio platform and not a video platform. This is an audio platform because I want men to feel comfortable saying what they say. I've had men on my show talking about being SA'd. I've had men on my show talking about being victims of domestic violence. I've had men on my show talking about they've been victims of racial violence. I've had men on my show that have talked about all these particular subjects behind their device where their faces weren't seen, where they said in any other platform, if there was a camera in front of their face or if there were a bunch of people in front of them, they would not tell those stories.
Yeah, true. But yep, you do create a safe space, and we all deserve a safe space.
Man, I appreciate that. And that's all I wanted to do, man, is just create a safe space where men could have conversations about whatever it is they wanted to have conversations about. And I thank you again for being here. I thank you for being the man that you are. And I pray and I hope that in your endeavors to change the way things are going with the politics yields you great reward. Bubba, is there something you wanted to say before we let Mr. Dixie go?
I just want to say congratulations, sir. And if there's anything that we can do to help you get along the way, let us know. We want to see you make the challenge. Let us know. And I want to offer, that same to you. If there's anything I can ever do, let me know. I want it to always be the most accessible politician ever. I want if you saw me at Kroger's, you come and talk to me. If you saw me at the gas station, you come talk to me. See me exercising at the Y, come talk to me. Because you know what? You go, man, you is trying to scare some people. You know politicians ain't like that no more. You trying to scare some people. No, I'm okay with that because I don't have office hours. Things happen. They don't happen just from 9 to 5. So call me anytime. Talk to me. I'm all right with that. But I will need you to kind of amplify the message to make sure people get out there to vote. Understand that you got to move your feet because we can change this seat if you just move your feet. And I didn't mean to say that to rhyme, but this
No, but that's it though.
it
That's
got kind of
it.
good, son. Like, we got to do it. We can do this. And it truly, black people can pick who sits in this seat because we have underperformed so much. If we just could just do a little bit better, we change the dynamics of this particular district. And that's what they want. Because if you change the dynamics of this district, you flip this seat, you can flip the next one. And then it's just a slow roll. But we got to get some kind of balance back in government. Because right now, in the super majority, it's just not good for anybody. Yeah.
Man, I hear you. Man, yes,
Yeah.
yes. We're rooting
Man,
for
thank
you.
you so much for inviting me. I enjoyed it. Whenever you want me to come back, we just, work out the time and schedule. Might be getting a little busy nowadays, but I'll make time for you. Just let me know. We'll make it happen.
Yes, sir. I got you. We will. Look, we're going to come back after the special election and we're going to talk about what happened, you winning, and because we're going to put that into the atmosphere. We're going to put that in the atmosphere. God is going to orchestrate this thing. So we're going to
Amen.
bring you back and we're going to talk about you winning and we're going to talk about what we need to do to go forward.
All right. Well, we're gonna make it
That's
happen.
it. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make that happen.
All right.
Yes, sir. Hey,
Forward to
everybody
it.
have a great night. I love everybody. Be safe.
All right. Thank you.
The kickback, the place for brothers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The kickback, a place for brothers. Yeah, yeah. The kickback, a place for brothers.